Welcome to another episode of the Soothing Semantics podcast. I am your host, Rafi Pinsky. Make sure to subscribe, like, share, leave your comments. And of course, for all of your real estate needs in South Florida, make sure to follow me at Rafi the Realtor on Instagram. Check out my weekly newsletter so you can stay in the know of everything happening in the South Florida market. Now, we got the unfiltered, unhinged, crazy Israeli guy who I've followed for a while. I've followed you for probably, I think, before October 7th, but after October 7th,
Really?
you showed up on my feed a million times. You just don't give any sort of a fuck about anything, and I love that. You're like
Yep.
you're my spirit animal, bro. I love it. I have a couple of really solid spirit animals in Israel. You're definitely one of them.
Oh,
So,
thank you. Respect.
Matan, welcome to the show. I do quickly
Thank you.
introduce you. Matan is an actor. Okay, they chose him first for his good looks, and then they figured out he was kind of talented, and they're like, you know what, we'll keep
Don't
him
forget,
around.
don't forget about the part of me slipping more way to the top. I don't like. It wasn't just the looks; it was me slipping away to the top. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe you. I
Okay.
honestly believe you. You're you're
No,
you're
no,
trying
no.
to convince us that you're joking. Listen,
All right. That
you're
was a
not
bad
supposed to
joke. That
say,
was a bad joke.
Matan. You're saying the quiet part out loud. I think
Yeah, you did say no filters.
I
Look,
did.
if
I did. It's up to you.
I'll be honest with you. I haven't slept my way to the top, but if I could, I would. Like, fuck it. Why not? Why not? Why not? Why be like, I'm not a prude. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, yeah, I get you. I totally understand. Yeah, honestly, bro, I get it. Well, L'chaim, I don't have any whiskey in my hand, but it looks like you're enjoying it. I know you had a long day at work. So
Yeah.
Matan is on Instagram he goes hard in the pro-Israel space. He's a proud Zioni, he's a proud Zionist. He really has gotten his name out there. He doesn't give, like I said, he doesn't give a shit, and that's something I love raw and natural people. I just gravitate towards those kind of people. So guys, we're gonna have a lot of fun on this episode. I have no doubt it's gonna be a great time.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. So,
Uh,
what were you doing before you got into acting? What was your life like before?
wow. Before I got into acting, I was actually, damn, that's a good question. I was actually traveling. I was working in Bulgaria, in sales. Like I used to sell parties in Bulgaria, and then it was just a summer job. Came here, worked in sales, moved to went to Greece. I used to work in Zakynthos. I used to manage a hotel there when I was 24. The plan was to the plan was to go to Greece, save enough money, and then go back to New Zealand, which I was like 2 years before. Already had the visa lined up. Everything is ready. I'm about to go. And the day came back from Greece, my dad passed away, and that kind of like forced me to stay. I didn't feel like I can leave. And after 2 months, like being like at home, like processing the sudden death of someone that prior to his death, like before my dad died, I haven't realized how much he means to me and how much of a safety network he is to me. And after 2 months, things just aligned. Like I saw this post of a friend, and everything aligned. And then I found myself in 4 days, like I found myself starting like 3 years course of like in acting school. So back before that, I was just busy traveling and working my way and just having fun basically. Um, so yeah, that's what I was doing. I knew I was gonna be an actor, but I never really thought it's gonna happen like at the time that it did. I was pretty sure I'm gonna go to New Zealand for a year, and then from there I'm gonna travel a bit. I wanted to travel to Asia. Um, Also, I was kind of like in love with a girl over there in New Zealand, so I was supposed to go back to her. And and yeah, but you make plans, and God thinks otherwise.
Well, for
And
sure.
yeah, and I am happy it turned out this way because acting school taught me that it's okay to have feelings, and I think I got sent there in order to process because I didn't know how to process the emotions of grief. I didn't know, like, 3 weeks after my dad died, I literally made jokes about it because I just didn't know how to handle the emotions. So yeah, so that was a gift. It taught me that it's okay to feel, and for me, that's life changing. Um, really was life changing. So
That's new to me. That's new to me
thank
because
you,
Matan,
God.
I didn't think you had any emotions. So now I see that
Oh
you're
no, I do. I am. Look, I know I come up as a lot of people think I'm a player and that I'm like, no, trust me, I'm a romantic, hopeful. I am a hopeful romantic. I live by emotions. I'm also a therapist. Like I don't do therapy per se, but I work with people about their emotions. I've been in psychology for the past, like ever since I was a kid. I was bullied and I couldn't win them. I couldn't like beat them, like protect myself. So I started reading books about psychology and because I thought to myself, like, if I'm not able to, physically protect myself, then I'm gonna become smarter than them. And for me, it was all about the mind game. Acting gave me the emotional game as well, and that was and this thing that aligned. But to your question, I am very emotional guy. Like I cry many times. Like if you put like a movie, like if I see the Titanic, I'm gonna be like, oh no, why did
really.
I? All the time. I'm very emotional, and I believe it's a gift to be able to cry. It's a gift to feel. It really is a gift to feel, and I feel sorry for those who never learned. Like till I was 24, I never learned that it's okay. Like for me, I was bullied in school, and every day I came back home, and my mom asked me like, "How was school?" And I'm like, "Fine, it was fine, everything's fine." I haven't spent the entire day in fear, and I haven't been suffering. And so I'm trying to be, to help others to understand that it's okay to feel. And there's also this other side of me that I'm not politically correct because I don't believe in the bullshit that goes around in society. I don't believe in the bullshit that we tell ourselves, and that's what actually I think that's the main thing that made me who I am. And that's why I'm so like out there. Like I don't fuck around. Like I don't give a shit if you like me. I spend most of my life alone. Like I felt lonely. I was always surrounded by people, friends, family, always had, but I always felt alone. So if you don't like me, then guess what? I've already been there. I've been into the lowest lows, like the point that I cut myself. And I'm not saying that I cut myself in order to commit suicide, but like I could not feel. I wanted to feel the pain. So I literally took a knife and I still have a picture of like at the bar that I used to work at the bar at the time and I was the happiest person ever. And you see in the picture that I have this elbow protector. And I told everybody, yeah, it's just, it's a tennis elbow. But actually it was meant to cover all the scratches because I didn't want people to see. And
Wow.
and after feeling that kind of loneliness, that kind of pain, then why should I give a fuck what everybody thinks of me? Seriously, fuck off. Like if you're
I
gonna,
really appreciate that you're willing to share this, bro. I wasn't
of
honestly.
course,
I didn't expect it. So that's really it's
again, as I said before, people have an image of me, of the player, of the guy who like, a certain image, but like I always tell people, like don't let the image fool you. And in everyone, like we all have this image that we project. Project, that's the word. Like project it,
yeah,
project.
just pronouncing it differently. Project, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, project to the world. But I think my greatest talent is to see past that projection. And I've seen my projection and I've seen my bullshit and I can see other people's bullshit. And that's why I've been screaming the politically incorrectness for the past, I think, 4 years because before it became like fucking trendy.
Right.
Since yeah, since Trump, like since the presidential race started, like it became trendy to be politically incorrect. But in the past 4 years, look what it's done to the world. Like people are afraid to say what they think, what they believe, and then deception takes its place, and then we find ourselves living in a fucked up world where right is
Right.
wrong and wrong is right, and it's insane. And I have the privilege and the courage, I think, to try and do something about it, even if it's gonna hurt me personally, which it has in my acting.
How so?
So Because let's say that in Israel, I'm not supposed to say it, but I'm still going to say it. But in Israel, if you're on the right wing of the map and you're in the acting industry, it's it's not the
That's what I
best.
assume. I assume
Um,
most of the agencies are more left wing, right?
it's not about the agencies. It's about the people who make the calls. Like agencies, I don't think agencies care, but it's the people who make the calls about the movies and about casting and stuff like that. And we live in a world where politics is literally like back like before it was politics wasn't that entangled in our daily life. It just wasn't. And right now, politics is in everything. So if you say your opinion and someone doesn't like it and he feels strongly against it, then he can hurt you. And the sad thing is that they might will. They can do it. And but again, I made a decision a while back, like prior to October 7th, I used to do poetry slam about the about politics, and like I made a decision to that I'd rather speak freely about everything I want than to have my my dream of acting. And if it's gonna hurt that dream, then it's okay because I can look myself in the mirror and know that I've been myself. And I was about to post it today. I forgot, but I wanted to post in my stories like, do you have the courage to be yourself? To ask my followers.
Hmm.
Like anyone has the courage to be themselves, and for me, that's the highest thing. If you have the courage to say out loud what you actually think, like for me, it's the most important thing, and
Why is
that
it
was a
so
hard decision to
uncommon?
make
Why do you think it's such an uncommon thing? Most people are
because
really scared to do that. Why do you think it is?
then they'll feel naked, and when they feel naked, they feel vulnerable, and people don't like to feel vulnerable. We don't do it in our own relationships. We hide things. We the way we tell stories, we always round the corners because if people know the truth, then they might not like us, or they like us less, or they think less of us. And it's a very human thing. It happens to me as well.
Right.
Like, but it makes
Happens to
sense.
everybody to some extent. There's some things we don't share with
Yeah,
anybody. Yeah.
yeah. There's this guy from the CIA always talks about it. Like I heard it say in few interviews, like that there are three levels of like you show to the world. You project the first level. That's what everybody sees. There's the second level where the people closest to you see, maybe your spouse even, and then there's the third level that it's like your deepest secret, which not a lot of people in your life gets to see. And he talks about it from the CIA point of view, where if you wanna get him to spy for you or to share with your secrets, you have to go into that place inside of him. So he can open that he will open the door for you for that secret place in him, because then he'll feel the most secure with you. And I think people like are feeling not feeling secure enough to open because they think people might think less of them.
And
And
they
for me,
will,
again,
honestly, they will. They totally will. I'm saying
yeah,
like the more you put
yeah,
yourself
they
out
would.
there and share your
I
opinions.
think the more interesting question is like, why do you care? Like I spoke to my friend the other day, and we had this like she was looking for. Never mind, but like we had this conversation, and she told me like I'm scared. I was like, okay, you scared of what? Because saying that you're scared like doesn't mean shit. Like, okay, why are you scared? Like, what scares you? And then we got the answer, and then I asked her like the more important question, because we all have fears. Courage is not about it's not about not having fears. It's about having the fears and still going for it.
Hmm.
And so I asked her like I told her like the more important question is like, why are you scared? Why in the first place? Like you have that fear installed in you. Like answer that, and then you see the fear goes away, or maybe not goes away, but you find the courage to proceed to go forward. And I think people should ask themselves that question, like why do they care what people will think of them? And if you can't be truly yourself with someone, is it worth having them around? Like what's the point of having friends if you can't be true with them? And again, I'm not talking about all of your secrets and darkest secrets, but like like the people close to me, Like I don't have many friends. I have a lot of people that I know, a lot of people that are co-friends, but actual friends, I have maybe two or three. My ex
Hmm.
was number one, but she's my ex, so I got left with two, and but those are the people that I can trust, and I can be vulnerable with them, and I can tell them my fears, and I can talk about my failures. And I've been going through a lot of failures. Shit, I've been going through so many failures in the past 2 years. Like for fuck's sake, like I was like enough. But I'm actually I talked to that with them, and I'm feeling proud of those failures because it means that I'm trying.
Sure.
But those are the people that I can share my deepest fears, and when I can share those deepest fears with you, then you're worth having because I value your opinion. The rest is just it's not that their opinion is not valuable, but I just don't value their opinion because why should I? They don't know me. So so yeah, think of me good, think of me bad, think less of me, think more of me. It doesn't
Very
really.
freeing. It's very freeing, man. It's like I think we all give a shit to an extent. I definitely give a shit about certain things. I think you have to give some kind of a shit in the right in certain situations because you live in the world and you're a social creature and you want to have opportunities and succeed in the world. But I think
Yeah, that's
if
part
we
of the
had to,
game.
but once, yeah, but if we had to kind of decide percentage wise out of 100% how much of a shit to give and how much of not a shit to give, we should probably give a lot less of a shit than more of a shit.
You know,
Uh,
Les Brown once said, if you have troubles, how do you say, if you have troubles, 50%, 80% doesn't give a shit, and 20%, the rest of the 20 are glad that they are not you.
So
So,
true. Or they're just
so
happy. Yeah, they're happy you have the problem. Yeah, it's very true.
so yeah, so no, happy that they are not you. Like they're just like, okay, I'm not him. I'm like safe. And so again, it's not about how much to give a shit. There's we live in a society, and there is a game to be played. I'm not gonna be rude to anyone. I'm not gonna offend anyone. I'm not gonna hurt anyone intentionally because I don't
Right.
like being an asshole. But if if you're getting offended because of what I said, and then that's a different thing. But like I'm not gonna change myself so for you it's gonna be comfortable. So it will be comfortable for you. I'm not. I'm gonna let my light
It's
shine.
actually a very good. So Matan, I like this conversation, and I would love to have it. Honestly, I hope that when I next time I come visit, when I come
We're gonna have a
to the
coffee.
land of the land of the Hebes, right? To the hometown. We can sit down with a bunch of the guys. You and I can sit down one on one. We can have a coffee. We can grab drinks, whatever it is, and I get to sit and talk to you about this for hours.
All
But I
right.
do want to tie this into Israel because you do a lot of hasbara, you do a lot of pro-Israel advocacy, and it's not you don't do it in this very formal way. You do it in this very relaxed, I don't give a shit attitude, which makes it so much more enjoyable to listen to and very real and also funny. You have a lot of comedy. You've even done like slam poetry. You guys have to check out his Instagram. It's really entertaining. So you're mentioning the idea of I'm not looking to intentionally offend you, but I'm going to say what I'm going to say if I value it, if it means something to me. So now,
Yeah, worked for Trump.
say again.
It worked for
Yeah,
Trump.
yeah. First of all, it works for most people. It works for most. It's
Yeah.
just a question of how much hate you can handle. The more hate you can handle, usually the further you'll go. It's a weird paradox, but it's very true. So so you're right wing. I'm right wing. I mean, I knew that right away. What? Uh, I just want to phrase this question. I'm just like thinking of how to phrase the question. You have a very direct way of saying things. So especially all these anti-Israel, people who are anti-Israel, pro-Palestinians. I'm sure some of them DM you. They see your content. What's that been like? I'm sure you don't give a shit, but I'm just curious to hear
What
your experience.
can repeat the question?
Repeat the
What?
question.
Yeah, because it was cut off. What's
No worries.
the?
What has your experience been like since you've been posting this content?
Oh,
You're
I'm getting so many curses. I'm getting
okay.
cursed. People call me a dirty Zionist. I'm also getting a lot of nudes. Like to be honest, like I don't mind getting a lot of
You said
nudes.
you're getting a lot
Yeah,
of what?
nudes.
No way, bro. Really?
Seriously, seriously. People just send them. I don't mind. It's always fun.
It's
Don't
mostly
worry
women,
if
though,
you
right?
actually send. No, no. I'm getting a lot of dick pics too. If you ever send me something, don't worry. It's probably not in my phone anymore, and no one ever else saw it. It's important to say. But I'm getting a lot of hate. I honestly, like, I see that, and I at the beginning, like, there was a time I had this one conversation with this girl, and I was trying to convince her, and, like, not even convince her. I was trying to lay the facts. And I've been talking, and I saw that it leads nowhere. So I just wished her, like, have a wonderful day. Like, I haven't even blocked her. She haven't blocked me. Like, have a wonderful day, and be well. When I get a hate message, like, I usually send them back, like, like, vicious links. That's this link. I hide the links with Bitly.
Yeah.
It's called suckmydick.com.
What comes
So
up when
they
you
get
click
this.
on it?
It goes to the porn site. It's called suckmydick.com. Yeah, I wanted to actually. I was talking to some friends that they are hackers, and I was like, look, I wanna. Can you send me a link that I can spread to those people that will crash their phone, or like a vicious link like with a virus? They said that it's kind of like not legal to do so. So I was like, okay, so that's why I came up with this suckmydick.com thing. And mostly I'm just making fun of them. Like, I don't I again, like, hate me, don't like me, call me a dirty Zionist, call me a Jew. I'm very convinced with my truth. So you cannot rattle me that easily. Some messages really pisses the shit out of me, but I've learned to ignore, and I've learned that the hard way, because once I respond to them, I'm like getting back to them to the same. I'm going down to the same level they are, and I'm cursing them like, you motherfucker, piece of shit, asshole, blah 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 blah. And then those fuckers, what did they do? Those fuckers report me, and I'm getting blocked. So I was like, you know what? Fuck that shit. I'm just gonna ignore. I'm gonna report them. And again, I don't care about the hate. Like, I honestly, I don't care. You hate me, okay. Look, I've been alone most of my life. You cannot, like, bring me down that easily. No, your word doesn't matter. Like, they cannot hurt me that deeply.
Right.
Like, so whatever it is that you're writing, whatever it is that you're doing, and I had Indonesians attacking my account. Like, there was one day that I got in an hour, I got 3,000 comments on my post and 6,000 DMs in 1 hour. Like, I had to block my comment section because my followers was like, what the fuck is going on? Because they used to comment on their comments. So I blocked everybody. And and I've been through that. And I just, honestly, I just don't care about, like, that. Like, okay, so you wrote me that I'm a dirty Zionist. Does it make me a dirty Zionist? Does it make me a filthy Jew? Does Hitler, if you tell me, if you're wishing that Hitler would rise from his grave and kill us all and finish the job, is it gonna happen? No, your words are empty. Their words are empty. All they know is hate. I'm talking from a place of love. I'm talking from a place of love for my country, love for myself, love for my family, love for my friends, those who I've lost, and those who are, like, on October 7th, those who I've lost before, and those who are still here. That's the place I'm talking. So your hate got jack shit on me. So fuck off and click the link. That's it. Very
Yep.
simple. I am getting
Yep.
a lot of love messages. Like, it's important to say, I'm getting so much support from my followers, which is incredibly, like, it's so amazing. Like, I've gained so many friends, people that I've never met. Like, I've never met in my life, and I probably won't meet in the next 10 years. But I feel close to them. Like, I feel that they actually care about me, and I care about them. Like, and 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 it's amazing. So yeah, you asked me about, like, the hate comments. I'll say, yeah, well, I get enough love comments to balance it out, and it's
So
amazing, and I'm grateful for it. Like, I'm really grateful for it.
you ended up becoming popular, man. You weren't maybe the coolest kid in school when you were younger, but it looks like it didn't work out too
Uh,
bad for you, huh?
Here's the thing: I wasn't the coolest kid in school, but I was always hanging out with the cool kids. Like, I always hung out with the coolest kids. Like, that was like my thing, and I always knew everybody's secrets. Always. Like, if you wanted to know secrets in my high school, you would have come to me. they called me the fish because I wouldn't tell shit to anyone because I don't do that. Um, but yeah, I always hung out with the cool kids, and
So how are you
yeah,
getting bullied if you hung out with the cool kids? How does that work?
because you don't get bullied if you hung out with the right people. You get bullied when people see someone weak, and that's the main thing of why I don't believe in the Biden administration and the left, because you get bullied because they can, because you
Mhm.
allow them, because you're weak, because you cannot protect yourself. And I'm not saying I wasn't getting bullied like they would catch me and beat the shit out of me and they'll come with a black eye, but it's the small things and laughs and it's the talks behind the back and let's do this to him and let's do that. And I was always the black sheep that they had to do their test. And I played it. I played it cool. Like I was always making fun. I was always like putting on a mask and like laughing about it. And but deep down, I was hurting, and I
Right.
didn't have anyone to tell that to. I didn't
So
feel. I,
you were
I
kind
have
of
a
like the
lot of people
punching
to
bag,
tell
I
it.
guess. Kind of like the
Yeah,
verbal punching bag.
yeah, and
Okay,
and
well,
and I felt like I had no one to tell that to, so I had to keep it all inside and let it like burst out of me on a random person. Sadly, someone that was weaker than me, and then I became the same guy as those who wronged me, and that's a tough lesson to learn at 15.
for sure, for sure. Okay,
Yeah.
well, I don't want to be insensitive to what you're saying, but I also want to go back to a little bit
No,
of
no,
Israel coverage.
go back. Look, let me tell you something about me. I love talking. I would go from that subject to 10,000 others.
Okay,
It's your
fine.
job to keep me on point.
Okay, got it. So you know, just a very important question because now let's see, we've been talking for about a half hour now. The the discussion of the hostages
I'm
is
smoking this
something, huh?
I'm smoking this for half an hour. Damn, that's long. Yeah, never mind.
Uh,
Yes, nothing.
okay,
Nothing.
okay. So hostage discussion. What's your take on the hostage discussion on what's going on now where we're
Ah,
releasing all
no,
these things?
no,
I already know what you're gonna say, but I want to know.
that's a corner that I don't want to get into. Look, the one Stackenberg, we used to work together, like back in 2014. Like we used to work a year together. And she was like 1 year under me in high school. Emily's father, like everybody knew Emily's father. He was the high school coach. He was the soccer coach of like half of the people like in my age. So I know them personally. To tell you that I care about all the terrorists that we are gonna release, I don't give a shit. Give them all back. Like for the lives of the hostages, give them all back. I do care about us leaving the Philadelphia border and Sirin Sarim. I think that if we're gonna do it, then they have won because we haven't done anything, and we are only gonna have another October 7th, um, somewhat in the future. Now, again, who am I to judge? Who am I to say anything? I don't know how the family feels. I don't know how the hostages feel. I don't know how the people who got their loved ones and seen the terrorists that murdered their son or daughter or whatever. I don't know how they feel. So and that's what caused me not to really have a sharp saying on it because I'm trying to be humble and I'm trying to respect all sides. Again, I think it's a bad deal, and I'm not afraid to say it. It's a bad deal, but at the same time, I'm happy to see them coming back, and I'm watching every time hostages are coming back. I'm like on the screen, smiling, feeling the joy that they feel. I do feel angry when I see all the fucking parade that is becoming this country, that the news channels going to their friends and their friends and the friends of the friends, and it becomes like a fucking reality show. It pisses the shit out of me. But I understand the human need in that. And I think, and again, it's hard. It's not gray. It's not black and white. It's gray. Life is gray. It's not either this or that. And I'm happy to see them coming back. But I am afraid from the future. I am afraid that if we're gonna leave Philadelphia border, then we haven't done anything. I don't believe it's gonna go past the first stage. So I believe it's gonna stop after the first stage. But again, who am I to say? I have this book somewhere around me. It's called Five Ring Book. It's a book about a
Mhm.
strategy based on the samurai. And there's a sentence in there that power lies in the shadows, and that's where actual power lies. And I keep remember that I'm not in the shadows. I don't know what, like I keep reminding myself that I don't know what goes, like what's happening behind the scenes. I don't know what deals are being made. So who am I to come and say my opinion is this and this and this and it's bad or it's good? I don't know what's been said.
Right.
All I know that, like, for me, like, from the information that was presented to me, I think, yeah, the IDF should stay at in Gaza, and we should take control of Gaza. Not because I'm some general and I know the fucking military strategy, but because I know that if you allow them, they're like bullies. If you allow them, they're gonna do it again because they don't
Yep.
give a shit about you and they don't give a shit about the rules. And if and we as a democracy, we play by a certain rule, but they really don't give a shit about them.
Right.
And so we need to start not giving a shit about the rules too. We need to play their own game. I also don't believe in doing hasbara per se. I don't believe in trying to explain to someone. First, it doesn't work. It doesn't, like, it won't
I
work. It will
completely
never
agree
work.
with you. I completely agree with you.
And
Yep.
and second, like, if you're doing hasbara, it's like, it's a paradox, because if you're actually trying to protect Israel, what you're doing is you're playing Hamas's game. Because Hamas created this game. They've been lying, but the difference is that Hamas has no rules. They have no boundaries. You do. We're not showing dead babies. We're not showing dead kids. We don't show the people who got hit by a missile and their body parts laying around. I saw that when I was 15. Not in the
Right.
news. I saw it with my own eyes. I saw my friend lose his leg, like his foot, when we were 14. Like, so if you're doing Hasbara and they have no boundaries, but you do, then you're destined to lose,
Right.
because they can always take it up a notch, and there's nothing that you'll be able to do. And if you actually try to do something, then those haters will come back and say, "Yeah, but you're the democracy. Why you do this and this and this?" And people are just gonna find a reason to hate. So I say, like, in that game, like, break the fucking stick. Like, I don't give a shit. I'm just gonna do what's right. I'm gonna do it, and that's it. I don't ask if it's okay or not. I don't care if it's okay or not. My people need to live. My people need security. I'm gonna fucking do it. That's
A
it.
hundred. A
You
hundred
you
percent.
you're gonna stand in our way. Stand in our way. See what happens. We're gonna fuck you up like we did in Lebanon, in Yemen, in Iran, in Gaza, and in every other fucking war in the history of this small freaking nation. That's it. Don't ask questions. Don't ask permission. It's better to ask permission. I had this manager who said, he used to always say to me, "You're either explaining yourself or you're right." That's it. you either, no, it's very simple. So if I'm explaining the side of Israel, that means I'm not right. So I'm not trying to explain
I
anything.
know
I'm just
we
gonna
do
say
too
what I
much
think.
justifying, bro. I don't do any justifying anymore. When
Yeah, I'm
that's why you're
justifying.
right. A Hasbara shouldn't be the goal. The goal should be to
Look,
say yeah, to just say it. So, what do you think? What do you think Israel needs to do once, let's say, God willing, we get all the hostages back? What does Israel need to do differently now? Enough of these stupid decisions that lead us to the same place every time. What do you think Israel needs to do with Gaza and Judea and Samaria and the West Bank in order for us to not have constant fucking violence all day long? What do we need to do?
to look the devil in the eye and face it, whatever the devil may be. That's it. It's very simple. We knew Hamas is planning something. We knew that they don't like us. We knew that they're assholes, terrorists, and it's written in their fucking agenda. Kill
Mm,
all the Yehud. We knew that. It's not a secret. Like, the only reason we came, like, one of the reasons we went to Tukatan, how I don't know how to say it in English, back in 2014, was because after the three kids was abducted and murdered, like the Shin Bet discovered that their Hamas is planning to go out from 200 tunnels at the same time. Like that's what we
Wait,
did.
is
That
Suketan Protective Edge or is it a different one?
protective edge, yeah, that's Sukitan. In
Okay.
2014, Shin Bet discovered that they have a plan in Rosh Hashanah to go out from simultaneously from 200 tunnels and attack bases and the kibbutzim on the border. That's why we went to the war. So it wasn't new. The fact that everybody is so fucking surprised. Why are you surprised? Like the devil was there. He told you, I'm coming for you. You asshole. You refuse to look it in the eyes. And yeah, and it's very simple. Like everybody's, oh no, what happened? No, like what the fuck?
It's
Like
crazy, right? Isn't it crazy? I said this on a podcast. The last podcast I did, you know, Mansoor, the Druzy
yeah,
guy.
yeah,
I was like,
mm,
they tell us,
great guy.
yeah, he's awesome. I'm actually about to go on his show today, and right
Really?
after we finish, yeah, he's bringing me on his show. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, amazing.
So I'm like, they tell us, the people who hate us tell us we're gonna kill you. It's literally the only thing we give a shit about. It's all we want to do, and we go, no, you don't want to do that.
But that's the problem. Again, that's the problem of the left. That's why I'm not gonna be on the left because the left. I do believe in some sort of socialism as a society. We need to take care of each other, but the left has reached to a point where they just refuse to look the devil in the eyes and face it. It refuses,
You know
and it
why? Because they
screams at
don't.
them.
You know why? Because I what I believe, it's not only a stupidity. It's what's so interesting about liberals in general, whether in the United States or in Israel, is they think they have this virtue to them. They right? They go, I want to be a good person. The
Yeah,
problem is you
whether
can't be a good person to bad people. You can't
yeah, it's the
if
sense of
somebody is
it's
a bad person and wants to do bad to you, you have to think about how to make sure they cannot do bad to you and
it's
people you care about.
it's
And in
the
order
sense.
to do that, sometimes you have to be a bad person too.
Yeah,
And, and
it
it's just something that I think a lot of them don't have, they can't really understand that. And it's not that you turn into a bad person. It's not that forever until the end of time you're a bad person. But in order to deal with somebody that wants to eliminate you, you need to deal with that problem.
yeah.
You can't just love your way into their hearts. It
I know
unfortunately
it's
doesn't
it's
happen a
this
lot of the time.
fake. It's it's the sense of this fake morality that we have. You know,
Right.
Sinwar was in Israeli prison. He had a fucking cancer in his head. Saved him. And we took pride on it. Oh, we saved a fucking murderer. That God himself chose us to give that asshole fucking cancer in his head. We saved him. And we were proud. That's the sense of fake morality. We stop having and again, I do believe we need to have morals.
That's an
We need to have a
Instagram reel.
code.
That is super
That
Instagram
is
reel
an
worthy.
that is, and it's
That
gonna go to
Instagram reel. I'm gonna
Instagram.
Instagram reel the
And
shit out of that one.
it's fucking insane, and that's the fake morality that we have, that the world have. I'm sorry, but the laws of the jungle says that if you're strong, you're gonna fucking survive. And if you have to deal, and if you have to become a bad person in order to protect what's right, then you have to become a bad person, for fuck's sake. Why are people so afraid of that? That doesn't make you a bad fucking person. You have to do it. In a war, people die. What? Okay, so what? In back in the 40s, we shouldn't have not killed the fucking Nazis. If you see someone is beating the shit out of, if you see a man, all right, and he's beating the shit out of a woman in the street, you're strong. You go and you beat the shit out of him. Does that make you a bad person, or does it make you a fucking hero for saving that woman's life? And we forgot about that. And for fuck's sake, it drives me insane. Like enough with this fake like morality. I don't even have the words to describe it. And we live in a world where, oh no, they're so poor. Let's get them into our borders, even though they are murderers and fucking rapists, and they're gonna rape our daughters and ruin our fucking economy. Let's bring them into the fucking borders because they're so poor, because they have bad. But no, but those are the fucking bad people. Stop them. You're a better person if you can turn your eye on all their fucking evil that they've done. It doesn't. And people need to fucking understand that you're not gonna face evil. Guess what? Evil is gonna come to you. Like I think it was either Jung or Nietzsche who said that. He said we all have this dragon in the back of our head, and sometimes the dragon is like, it sends his like tail and like flick you. Now you as a human being, as a person, you have two options. You either face the dragon on your own terms, or you're gonna face the dragon on his terms. On October 7th, we face the dragon on his terms. And if everybody thinks they're such good people with their fake morality, if they think that the fucking dragon is not gonna slay them, then they're fucking making a mistake. Then they're wrong. And that's what happened to us, and it's gonna keep happening. Look at Europe. Look at the United States. Look what happens across the world. The fucking Arab leaders tell people you're taking the garbage of our society and you're welcoming them as if they're the pride of all nations. Saying that. What do you think Egypt doesn't want the Palestinians? Why do you think Jordan doesn't want the fucking Palestinians? And the Palestinians are fucking Jordanians. Jordanians, they came from Jordan and Lebanon. Those are the Palestinians. And they don't want them. In the past 2 years, prior to October 7th, Jordan is literally, they have Palestinian refugees, and I'm going to say Palestinian refugees, and let's say their driving license has ran out, like expired, and those Palestinian refugees goes to renew it, and then they first time they hear you're not a citizen anymore. That's happening in fucking Jordan. Fucking Assad killed 230,000 fucking Palestinians. No one did shit. And you know why? Because he wasn't weak. He was a fucking murderer. He's a dictator. He's a piece of shit, but he wasn't weak. And that's why. And we ask for justification, and we ask, no, please let us. And people see it as a weakness. So they look in the Biden administration in the past year. Who got all the pressure on to make a deal? Israel got the pressure on. They're fucking holding hostages a fucking baby, and you're putting the pressure on Israel. Why? Why, for fuck's sake? Why? Because they can't. Because they know that if they were trying to talk to Hamas is just gonna get his dick out and tell them to suck it, like I tell to the haters that comes to me. So they put the pressure on the weak side, the weaker side. Yeah, and we are a powerful fucking nation, but we are behaving as if we are the smallest, weakest nation on earth, and it's not true. And it's not. This small nation, we don't have a lot of land. Sorry,
bro, I love what you're saying. I love you, man. I fucking love you.
I love you too. Sorry about the rant. When I get into it,
no. Please, fucking, just that was the last. I don't know how long that was of your rant. That must have been like 7 minutes, and I just fucking love that shit.
Thank you.
No, man, it's exactly how I feel. It's exactly how I feel. It's exactly
it's exactly how a lot of people feel. But again, when it comes to evil wins not when it becomes strong. Evil wins when good men. I don't remember who. I'm quoting someone. I don't remember who. He says when evil wins when good men sees evil and do nothing. That's when evil wins.
So true.
And us letting people into, like, not us, but US, letting people into their borders, murderers and rapists. And again, I do believe in having asylum and helping people. And as a society, we should help one another. And if you're not, and if you haven't dealt the best card in your life, then we should help you. It's our privilege to help someone. That's what we're destined to do in this world. But let's not mistaken about helping someone and having this fake morality and letting people who doesn't deserve it get it. Like, because you know what? Because you want to be moral, then think about that. If you're helping a fucking murderer who escaped Venezuela or whatever the fuck he is, or Mexico or Palestine or Jordan or Syria or whatever the fuck he came from, if you're letting them in and he's a fucking murderer and a rapist and whatever the fuck, or a thief or whatever it is, there's a guy who actually needs the help, and he's a good person who gave up everything to help someone else who got beaten up. He's actually he's a good person and he deserves your help. and it's your fake morality that he's because of your fake morality, he doesn't get the help that he needs because you chose to help those assholes, those wolf in sheep's clothes. And it's insane how the legends we grew up on comes to life, and it seems like no one has fucking learned anything from that. Like watch
No.
Kippah Duma. Why do you say Kippah Duma? Like what's the name of it? Like the little girl who walks in the forest, but well,
Oh, Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red
yeah,
Riding Hood.
yeah. Why, read the fucking book. Everything is in there. That will give you the fucking moral of the story. Those are the people they're fucking wolves who's gonna eat your grandma and then gonna eat to help you. And I'm gonna say it very, very fucking proudly. Israel is the fucking hunter who saves everybody, who's fighting the war of the entire fucking world. Right now, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing for the past year. People may not see it, but history will judge it, and not the history of 20, 30, 40 years from now, when it's going to happen in Germany, in the UK, in France, and people are going to lose their shit, and they're going to become, because look, Lebanon was a fucking, like, it was a Christian country.
Yeah.
Iran was one of the most open spaces in the fucking world. People walked freely there. Women was free. Look what happened. Look what they're fighting now. Does it make you surprised that the people of Iran is like they admire Bibi and admire Israel? The people, not the government, the people of Iran. Does it surprise you that the Druze on the Lebanon side, like when we took over Syria and Lebanon, like the villages of the Druze, they asked that Israel will claim them. Like they want to be a part of Israel. Does it surprise you? No, it doesn't. Because they know what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
They appreciate it. And those assholes, those kids, those Columbia idiots and UCLA idiots and all the other students, when they're going to lose the consequence, when they're going to feel, the consequences of their actions, when their freedoms are going to be taken away by the same assholes they were trying to protect, then they're going to look at themselves and say, man, we were stupid. They were right. Now we have to fight the same fight that Israel was fighting. And we didn't realize that they're fighting it for us. And it's that simple. And it's happened before. It's nothing new. It happens in the course of history. Already happened.
So true. So true. That's why I think is what Israel needs to do is Israel needs to take Gaza completely. Israel needs to take the West Bank completely and pretty much give the Arabs there an ultimatum and say, listen, all of you, any of you that are in Hamas, first of all, any Hamas members, actual members, need to be killed. Anyone who has any affiliation to them, which is pretty much most of Gaza, let's be very fucking honest, uh, they need to go. And if any Gazans want to stay in Gaza, no citizenship, but resident status. It's going to be all Israel now. The whole map. When you look at a map, the whole thing is Israel. And
yeah, but that's catch-22 because here they don't want to make them citizens of Israel.
I'm not saying citizens, residents.
Well, then you don't really have a solution, and you're gonna dig your own grave because what are you gonna do with them? I think the only solution right now, and it's not probably people are gonna hate me for saying that. Like the haters are gonna hate me. Well, fuck it, they already hate me. Is really to deport them. Like we don't want them as part of
No, no,
our
no, no.
nation.
I understand what you're saying. No, no, hear me out. Hear me out. I understand that, and that would make things. It would be the easiest way to deal with the problem. Is it's very hard to actually do that. If Trump can actually get them to go, that's fine.
Yeah,
Um,
Trump was talking about 200,000. There's 2 million.
if he can actually, the thing is it's going to be very hard to send millions to one place. It's much more likely to be able to send a few to a bunch of different
Yeah,
countries. Um, yeah, I mean, the resident thing will probably end up leading to a lot of them leaving anyway, because most of them are not going to want to be residents. They're going to want to be citizens in a country, but we cannot give them citizenship because then they're going to outnumber us and we're going to be the minority in our own country. That can't work. Two states, forget about it. You'll never convince me of that in a
it's
million years. That's the
two-state
dumbest idea in the
delusion.
whole world. Second of
You
all,
know the
aside from the
term?
dumbest, what?
You know the term two-state delusion?
Two-state delusion, 100%. First of all,
Yeah.
it's not even about whether it would work. We fought war after 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 war. So I'm now going to give you part of my land that you You kept trying to destroy me, completely kill all of my people, and now I'm going to reward you with more of my land. Second of all, the more land you give, the more land they want. It's like even saying
It's
this,
like having a fight with a
hold on,
toddler.
one second, Matan, one second. The fact that it's even a topic of conversation anymore, the fact that even two states is even brought up as an idea is just how stupid can you be to even think that that's an idea?
Yeah, completely agree with you.
God, it's just
You
like,
need to, you need to,
and you
you
know what,
need.
man? I've been saying this on like so many of my podcasts lately. This is a big. This is much more of an Ashkenazi mentality, bro. It's like,
Most Ashkenazis are lefty.
would you say? I know, and I listen. I am one, and I. It's not that I hate. I look at all Jews as we're part of the same family, but the mentalities are not the same, Achi. They're just not the
Because
same.
here, because look, because look, it's actually quite easy to explain. Ashkenazi Jews came from Europe, from a
Yeah,
lot of places in Europe where they came from democracies and places like that. Mizrahi Jews came from the Arab nations. Like they came from Tunisia, Morocco. I'm from, my grandparents are from Yemen. They were deported from there violently. Like people hated them, and
yeah,
they
you
have
get
the
it.
same
You
mentality,
understand.
and they get it. They get the mentality of the Arabs because
Yeah,
they
but
live
how
with them.
long? Yeah, but
I'm part
how?
Arab.
Why? But why don't the Ashkenazi Jews understand it? It's been why can't they understand it? It's like how long is it going to
Uh,
take until they finally come to that realization? It's like
I'm
it's
not
been
gonna turn.
76. It's been 76 years already, and it's been happening more than 76 years with
Look,
the stuff happening in the 1920s, in the early 1900s, in the Holocaust. Like how much? How many things need to happen for them to finally come to the
I
conclusion that the
I don't.
ideas they have are?
Yeah, but here's the thing, and it's a psychological thing. I'm not gonna talk in terms of
Hmm?
Ashkenazi or
Hold on one
Mizrahi
second.
Jews because it's just not correct to talk about it like that. But let's talk about it left and right. Here's the thing: if you now spend most of your life believing in something, in order for you to change your mind, in order for you, and let's say you fought for the values that you feel, and you fought for something. If you right now admit that you're wrong, then you're putting yourself in risk for your entire emotional world to collapse on itself. And that's why it's so hard to people. Imagine, do you really think those kids that in Colombia, the students who literally stuck in a tent, got cast, fought, screamed the day and night, ah, free Palestine, scream, scream, till the floor came out. After investing so much time and effort and physical effort into it, do you really think it's that easy to just to admit to yourself that, oh, no, I was wrong?
But that's different. I'll tell you why that's different. They are not
It's
there, but they're not experiencing the terror and the
all
violence.
right. But here's the thing. Again, you don't have to experience the terror and the fight. You don't have to. If you admit yourself that you were on the wrong side, then you have to you have to face some hard questions. Like,
Right.
what the fuck what was I fighting for in the past 20, 30, 40, 10, 5 years? What was that? And that's why it's so hard for people to change their mind. They're just gonna find another reason to justify that justifies what they're already thinking. Because if I need to admit that I'm wrong, then what does it mean about all the effort that I've put? What does it mean about the people that I've been hanging out my entire life? And again, we live in such time where politics is such a big part of our life because of social media and because of other things that happen. So all the people that I'm hanging out with and I'm having most of the conversations that I'm having are on that subject, and I'm defending this one part in every conversation. And if I'm right now, I'm admitting that I'm wrong. Can I actually do that? Like
Right.
it's a dangerous thing because when you put your emotional, like your entire emotional world can collapse. It's your self of identity, and people are not ready for that because then you have to face the question. Okay, then who am I? I don't want to find out at the age of 40 and 45 that I was fighting for the wrong things, and now I have to rediscover everything. And it doesn't matter what you've been through. And again, it takes a big trauma to change people's minds. Like if like the kibbutzim on the south, like I grew up there. Most of them were, if you look at the political map, most of them were identified as left. Left,
Sure.
and I'm talking left. They have experienced such a big trauma that most of them are not now are not. The people who like here in Tel Aviv, the leftists here in Tel Aviv that protest for stop the genocide and all that, they haven't suffered. What they saw a video, big fucking deal. This is seeing a video is Gen Z kind of shit. No one gives a shit about that. You see a video and you forget about it. Like if not in a week, then in a month.
Right.
They haven't experienced the pain. Once you get the slap, once you experience the fucking pain, and you experience the trauma, and you see your friend getting shot in front of your eyes, or you see your niece or your daughter getting abducted, then you feel the pain. Then you start reevaluating your life and saying, "Oh yeah, I might have made a mistake thinking those people can be peaceful." Because it's neural laws of motion. It takes the same kind of force from the other side to come and change your mind. And if that doesn't come, then it won't happen. That's why also I don't believe in Asbara. Because what I'm going to say is not going to change anything. I know it's not going to change anyone's mind. I'm using Instagram to express myself, to let my emotions out, and to help my followers to have a better day. Okay, because that's the thing about art. Like Ethan Hawke has a great TED talk about it. He says people can give a shit about art, but till the day that they are getting hurt or they lose someone they love, or they're having a breakup, and then they're looking in art to see, in poems, in stories, in books, in movies, in sonnets. They're looking to see that someone has felt like that before. They want to see that someone has felt like that before, and that makes them feel that they're okay. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be the voice of those who doesn't have the expression skills that I have. Just as I'm looking for answers with other people that I follow, other artists,
Right.
other people who create content. I'm finding them like the things that I cannot say, that I didn't know how to say until I saw that, and they was like, oh yeah. And again, that's why those people won't change. So why even try? Okay, as long as we are the powerful force, like we are in control, fine. It doesn't matter if he's a leftist or whatever and what his opinion is, because he doesn't get a say. And it becomes dangerous when those people who are blind to the truth, just like happened in the past 4 years, are getting in power. Then it becomes dangerous, because then you can see the destruction that it can lead to. Because now those
Very
people
true.
who are ignoring all the signs and all the red flags and and ignoring the devil coming to their face and saying them, I want to kill you. They're ignoring that. But they're the one calling the shots. And they're allowing an entire nation to ignore that. That's when it becomes trouble. And yeah. Cheers to not left and right. Cheers to human beings. Be a good person. The rest doesn't matter. I don't give a shit if you're a Muslim, if you're Christian, if you're Sikh, if you're Jewish, if you're left, or if you're right. Be a fucking good person. You're okay with me. That's it.
Cheers, bro. L'chaim. Yeah, no. So I guess we will see what happens in the next 4 years. And I hope we got some peace in the Middle East.
Nah, it's not gonna happen.
All right, well, let's be fucking
Yeah.
hopeful, right? Let's be fucking hopeful.
As
What can I
long as
tell you?
there are terrorists out there,
Hey man, what can I tell you? I
Bridget
mean,
Gabriel said it.
unless Trump actually does the things that we're talking about, we're gonna be back at square one again with fucking
Oh, who
Hamas. But
knows?
anyway,
I love
all
letting
right.
life
Well,
surprise me.
yeah. So okay, Matan, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Guys, thank you so much for watching. It is always, always, always an honor to have my viewers checking out my stuff. I hope you got some valuable information. I hope you learned a little bit about Matan. If you're going through any hard times, hopefully he was a source of strength for you. You can follow him on definitely on Instagram. Are you on other social media platforms that you use
Well,
or
I do TikTok as well, but ever since the war started, I went down from like having 20, 30, 300,000 views to literally I posted something yesterday who had 47 views. That's it. 47.
Wow.
So
All right.
I'm on TikTok, but I'm actually not on TikTok anymore because they're anti-Semitic assholes.
Okay, what can you do? So Matanel Samin is the Instagram handle. I will drop it in the description. Obviously, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see the reels that'll come out. We're gonna share. We're gonna collab on all the short form content as well. Ladies and gents, thank you so much again for tuning in. Subscribe, like, share, leave your comments, share the video with your friends, family, and whoever else you think would enjoy it. Of course, real estate. Make sure to get in touch with me in South Florida. And that is a wrap. Peace.